let's give Molly a minute to wrap up with herself. Who's the pretty girl? Who's the pretty girl?
Meanwhile, my internal monologue is like, you look fucking old. You look terrible. You're like the crypt keeper.
You look beautiful. I love what you've done with your hair.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful little swept up bun.
Right. Oh. I haven't had a glass of water today. James did just give me a glass of milk.
Which is basically water.
So close.
Well,
But I look like I haven't had a glass of water in 10 years.
I can promise you I also haven't had barely any water
You're
today.
gorgeous, though.
That's because my wedding makeup is still kind of on.
And you still have the wedding hair. Like, it's been...
Yeah, I didn't get married. To
That'd be a
clarify.
crazy reveal.
Yeah.
The day after your wedding, you're back to the pond.
Yeah, it's no rest for the wicked.
No.
My brother's wedding was last night.
Mm-hmm.
I am in pain, actively still right now. So his wedding was in Lake George, upstate New York.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful place.
Beautiful.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I've never
Marrying
been.
the love of his life.
Yeah.
My now sister, Megan.
Sweet.
And it was a beautiful wedding. It rained Thursday and Friday nonstop. Like, torrential rain.
Okay.
To the point where everyone was like, don't talk about the rain.
Cool. Got it.
I feel like the schedule of events was so nice.
Okay.
It was like the perfect agenda.
Perfect amount of activity.
Exactly.
Versus autonomy.
Yes, lots of time for free play. And also like a lot of, it was nice because like Lake George isn't like popping yet for like,
It's still
it's like quiet but
shoulder
active.
season. Yeah.
So like it's kind of like retro up there. It's kind of like Jupe's giving like the Poconos. Like everything feels kind of everything feels like 60s kind of.
Oh, I love the 60s.
Yeah, exactly.
With all of the progress we've made today applied to
the aesthetic.
The aesthetic of the 60s is what I like, yes.
Agreed. So there's like a little biscotti shop, a little candy, whatever.
Did you get fudge?
I wish. I did not get fudge, but so rain, and then beautiful sunny perfect day on Saturday.
You pay your debts.
Exactly. I was like, honestly, almost glad it rained for them. I'm sure they don't feel this way, but I'm glad it rained Thursday and Friday because they got a perfect day on
Makes
Saturday.
you even more grateful for the
yes.
sun.
And it's like the sky was tired.
It's really gorgeous.
Which you want.
Yeah, right.
But
all cried out.
Yeah, No Tears Left to Cry by Ariana Grande. The schedule was perfect. The first day I just was like, get into town, family.
Yeah.
Then Friday they did because they're both big golfers, they did a golf scramble. Don't ask me what that is, because I don't know. I didn't go to that part.
I thought you were meant to be like a cart girl.
I did kind of want to, anyone want to, what are they called? A grapevine?
What's coming to my head is
it's a grape.
Like a head crusher, skull crusher.
Skull crusher? Skull candy?
What are they called? Our friend literally stood up a company to make these.
It's grape juice and vodka.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah,
and like Sprite.
It's like it's not a screwdriver.
No, transfusion.
Transfusion. There we go.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't. But they got such a great turnout despite the rain.
Love.
So much, because lots of golf in
These
my
freaks
family.
that love golf can't be stopped.
People kept asking me, did you golf? And I was like, I wouldn't have golfed if it was, the most perfect day outside.
No.
Love them, not doing that.
Not for you.
There was a lunch after that, everyone went to, though,
Sweet.
which was fun. And then rehearsal, obviously. I love rehearsal dinners. I always, I guess because I'm now getting to the point in my life where I have, a lot of weddings, but,
yeah.
before your wedding, I kept fully forgetting what a rehearsal dinner was, and kept going, we have dress rehearsal. And, fully thinking that was what, I was like, we have dress at, and everyone was like, what are you talking about?
And it's not dress.
No.
You're not wearing your final gown.
Exactly, it's just play practice.
Yeah, right. It's just rehearsal.
Yeah, it's just rehearsal.
Yeah. Even though it is, like, we should be ready, you guys. This is kind of the final hour.
Yeah, this is kind of it.
Yeah. Which I actually think this is a good moment to drop in the lore. Right before I walked down the aisle at my own wedding, I, like, freaked out. Like, I just, like, was kind of having a panic attack.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's just, like, a lot of attention and pressure, which is so stupid. They're all, like, your family and your friends.
But you've, like, never looked better. It's, like, it's a lot.
It's a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And I felt like a 2-year-old. It was like your 2-year-old nephew at the wedding you're at this weekend, where it's a lot. And you feel a little shell-shocked.
Yeah, you're like, this is a thing.
It's just like, yeah.
Your body reacts. It's like, yeah.
It was not even a conscious decision. It was just physical. So I am just, it's actually like Mittens, like, came over and gave, because he had to go first. That's how it goes. And he came over and gave me a hug, like, okay, like, see you down there. And as soon as he released me, I just started crying, like, so hard. I was like, wait, no, don't go. Like, and then because I also made the choice to, like, walk up by myself, because I didn't want to be given away.
Yes.
But it just felt very, like, I was alone. I had to just go do this thing alone.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And whatever.
And they're also, like, telling you, sorry, I don't mean to keep it,
no,
but
please.
The photographer's always also like, make sure you smile, make sure you, and you're kind of just like, I kind of actually want to look at the ground. Yeah. I imagine. I've never been a bride. But.
You've walked many aisles.
Yeah, I always feel that way.
And you had a ton of eyes at my wedding. Like, you being the officiant, that you were star.
Let's not.
Okay.
Molly was the star. Molly looked Molly,
you still focus at my wedding.
Let's talk about it.
So our podcast just becomes kind of like the red table. But no, I was freaking out, and Siege was like one of the very last you were the last to go down before me.
Maid of honor.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like you two left, you and Callie, who's been on the pod before. And Siege was Callie was like taking the route of like comforting me, like, oh my God, it's all okay, we're good. Like, I think she was like, you know, physically touching me. And Siege is going, it's the spring musical, and it's curtains about to go up. So.
I was like, I kept saying, we raised all the money for the spring musical. The show must go on. Because it really feels that way. It feels like, to me, weddings feel like we're doing like a theater performance. Totally. And I'm like, it's just the spring musical, guys. Come on.
We've been washing cars every weekend.
We're off book. We're good. Yeah, we are good. Everyone's got their lipstick painted on with the paintbrush by some lady.
Right.
We're good to go.
We got through it when Annie got mono, and we had to bring in the replacement. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you were ultimately the one to like get me good because it was making me laugh.
That's I know my place in those situations, and it's to do that.
It was perfect. It was exactly what I needed.
I told that story this weekend because I like, you can always tell when like the freak out's happening. You know what I mean? Where everyone's kind of like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Everyone's about to look at me in a way that I've never been looked at before.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny. The officiant at this wedding was my brother's like ex-boss, and he was like telling people like, I will never do this again. He was freaking out, but he did a great job. I told him afterwards, like, you didn't seem nervous at all. Like, he was like totally fine. Yeah,
it's a big role. It is.
It's most lines.
Yeah, most lines.
Most lines. So then, like, Friday, dress rehearsal. I was like, come on, guys, tomorrow. Vocal exercises.
Hit your mark, hit your mark.
Where do you stand? You know, I'm like, who do I stand next to?
And you got a good groomsman as your partner?
I did.
Good.
One of my brother's childhood friends.
That's
which
important.
Makes it easier.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
tall?
Very.
That's always the worry for me as a bridesmaid.
So yeah. And what do you usually wear? Like a
always I wear a heel, yeah.
God, I love that for you.
If I have to dunk on a groomsman, I will.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lower myself.
Hell no.
For a groomsman.
No.
I was doing a 3-inch heel, which is crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was actually a huge problem. I had to take them off every time we walked anywhere. And my brother said, "This feels right." And I was like, "All right, I'm trying really hard here."
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Did you bring a ballet flat?
I brought my Birkenstocks and I changed.
Very good. Yeah.
Like literally immediately after the wedding, I went and got my Birks.
So they didn't fit in little purse?
They did not fit in little purse, but I had access to bridal suite, which is the biggest purse a girl
huge.
Can have at a wedding.
Totally.
So yeah, dress rehearsal was beautiful and perfect. I gave a speech. It was really fun. Molly read it for me.
You slayed it.
Thank you.
Brought the house down. Reports have been coming in.
The tweets are like,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy.
Social sentiment, very positive.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
My PR people are happy. The ceremony itself was amazing. Literally so beautiful. It was like, I'll have to show you pictures, but like the actual, it was outside in front of Lake George. Beautiful. So beautiful. The walk was really long, which again, it's scary because everyone's looking at you.
Oh yeah.
But
like the aisle walk?
The aisle walk was like curving and really long, but didn't fall. Actually really did very well.
It's very good. This is like when we talk about our reading level. It's like, an adult woman should be able to walk, but it's a lot of pressure and it's a lot of
hard. Your foot is at a
surveillance
180-degree angle.
Completely.
And
it sounds like mixed terrain as well.
It was grass and concrete.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And they both wrote their own vows and I think surprised each other. I don't think they like gave them beforehand, I'm not sure, but I wept through both of them.
Yeah.
They were both beautiful in such different ways and like but so knowing of each other. I'm gonna cry again. And they both cried during them, which was like, that also made me cry because I don't think I've ever seen my brother cry for real, like,
of course. Yeah.
And like his his like voice is breaking.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, when men try to like tough it out.
I wouldn't guess that there'd be a dry eye in the house.
No, everyone was. The bridesmaid behind me was like.
I was kind of like that at Callie's wedding.
There's always a heaver. And it's so funny because I never used to be a happy crier, but ever since my nephew was born, I will cry at anything.
He cracked your heart wide open.
And I know that sounds like so stupid,
Not
but
at all.
it's true. Like, I'm just like, everything is amazing when you've
Everything
got
is romantic.
A beautiful 2-year-old in your life.
Truly.
And he was this next to the bride, he was the biggest diva / star of the day.
Diva positive.
Yeah. Capital D diva.
Diva, like, love that diva.
Yeah,
not
like,
diva
go
like
off diva.
Yeah.
He was the ring bearer. He is
Yeah.
too. He is, I would also describe him as we kind of describe him as a capital D dictator. Because he kind of gets whatever he wants right now. And he's, especially when you're the ring bearer, it's like, whatever gets him down the aisle. So, like, every time I saw him, he had a lollipop. And he was, like, smiling, like, yep. Like, I did something, so I got a lollipop. After he went down, after the ceremony, it was actually so cute. I felt like a tug on my dress. And I looked down, and there he is. He didn't say anything. He's just looking at me. Chocolate all over his face. I was like, you did it, buddy. You got down the aisle.
Did it. He's like, I know, I've been enjoying the spoils of my labor. Yeah.
He is just the best. And, like, he was freaking out months in advance about ring bearer. Like, he doesn't understand what it is, but I think like it's a bodily reaction. He was like,
it's very
everyone
human.
Keeps talking about me being the ring bearer,
right?
And then once he found out about the tux, it was like he was so freaked out because he also doesn't like to be restrained. Who does? But he got in the tux and he got down the aisle.
The two things he needed to do.
Yeah, and they were both in question.
Yeah.
So.
It always is.
Yes, and it was great. He was just so cute all weekend,
He's adorable. He was breakdancing.
He was breakdancing at the wedding. We were like, where did he learn that? He's also at an age where he's just like he's just wants to go up and down stairs. That's like really fun. So, we did that.
It's potentially hazardous, so it needs constant supervision.
2-year-olds do need constant supervision because they just want to do everything and they can do almost nothing.
No, and then they get really bad if you try to intervene.
Oh my god, they're like, I'm trying to throw myself off of a very high surface.
And that's on me.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. Shouldn't have gotten involved.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Stop trying to, I'm doing something, I'm working on something here.
Let me cook.
Yeah. So, like, we had a special stair moment during the ceremony. You take a turn. Just show me the stairs.
Yeah. To feel the little paw tug on your dress, that's
was so
cute.
And also, like, my mom was telling me, I already told you this, but he, like, saw me in the group of photos being taken beforehand, and he was going, Auntie B, and, like, trying to run to me.
From, like, a mile away?
Yeah.
You're his best friend.
I'm high on the list. Mama is his best friend.
Mama's best friend, yeah.
For sure. But
and Jesus isn't ranking yet.
Weird. Are you?
No.
So yeah, it was a perfect day, and the party afterwards was so fun. They had an amazing band that rocked my socks off. Like saxophonist who went in the crowd.
Yeah. That rocks.
Yeah, it was a really good time. And I spent the day hungover on Amtrak, as I often am. So yeah, how are you doing?
I had a much less eventful weekend. This was a huge milestone.
It was.
A family
Yeah, now
milestone.
We're 2 children married off. 2 to go, we hope.
Jesus Christ. No, my weekend. Oh, well, in your absence, in absentia, I had to do some work. Okay, so actually we've needed to address this on the pod.
Yes.
It's important.
The elephant in the room.
Yeah. Okay, so may I frame it up and you
please,
pitch?
please.
Yeah, okay. Chime in as needed. But Siege gave me, apropos of nothing, kind of just a gift from heaven.
Yeah.
She said, "Hey, you have 12 months to be as actively involved in my love life as you want, and I will be compliant."
I give her no rules.
Literally.
Like 3.
Yeah.
That were like, I don't even
3,
know.
and they're like softies. Like
it's really like...
it's like a blank check.
Yeah.
And she told me this like 2 or 3 months ago.
Yes.
And I have done like fuck all with it.
Yeah.
Which is, I can't tell you the excitement that coursed through my body.
I saw it.
I lit up at this possibility, and I have like really just, I've been busy. But I haven't.
As a result.
No, something kind of like, it was one of those like woke up in the dead of night in a cold sweat. Like a few weeks ago, I was like, what am I doing with my one wild and precious gift? I need to make some moves. So I think this is going to be a really busy summer for you.
Let's book it up. Come
Yeah.
on, yeah.
Juice
is making a crude gesture off camera. Not to sound like Akatar, but...
We're going to get you to a love nest or whatever those freaky things.
Those mating, whatever.
Yeah. No, I'm going to get a lot more active.
Okay.
But I think it looks like, I need to do a strategy session. This is a me thing. I'm not going to clue you in.
Don't involve me.
No.
Yeah, that's the whole point, is I don't have to...
Yeah.
I gave up. I put it in your hands.
Yeah, I think I'm going to come at this from like up to 5 different angles.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a multi-prong attack plan.
Also, because nothing has really happened yet, in terms of the blank check, I'm like, I've like...
Oh, you're like doubting me?
No, not doubting you, but I'm just like, I guess I'm like... I've kind of forgotten.
My haters become my waiters at the table of more success. Your hate motivates me.
I'm not a hater. I'm just sort of like, I haven't thought about... It's going to be horrible for me. And I haven't really thought about that.
Yeah, you've been lulled into a false sense of security.
You've got me right where you want me.
Listen, we'll do this... And I do wonder around the boundaries of your compliance. Because I think you might not be so... willing as you express, but that's okay. And I think each and every...
Maybe we have to have like a punishment system if I go against your will.
Right. Oh my god.
If I'm not being
this is like
enough.
More 50 Shades than... Yeah.
Did I sound too eager there?
Maybe you'd have to like spank me. I think there should be some kind of incentive or punishment.
Incentive could be good.
Are you more carrot than stick? Do you want a lollipop?
Or a little ice cream.
A little ice cream.
A little novelty.
Every time, maybe it is a frozen novelty. Every time you go on a date,
I get a little treat.
I'll take you out for ice cream.
You to Butterfield?
Yeah. Okay, Butterfield's crazy. You can have well.
You're not made of money.
Hector's buying lunch left and right. I'm buying... No, yeah, so multi-prong is the...
Test and learn.
Exactly. Yeah. And one of them, so I think there will be a strategy that's kind of like a a classic in-person wingman.
Yes.
And
that I think is the one I'm most scared about, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just because of our history. Just because of things you've done and said in the past to men.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's physical. I'm shoving you left and right. You are going to have to sign a contract.
Yeah.
I can do it. It's like that thing at the really scary haunted houses where you signed like a waiver saying, like, you can touch me.
I'll sign.
That's what I'm going to do. And then I think I have to work through some other strategies where I'm casting a wider net where you're not physically present.
I prefer that. Yeah.
I don't care.
Right, sorry. I should shut up. It doesn't matter.
No, but yeah, those are some angles too. And that's actually, when you asked me about my weekend, I was towing that line. I met a very nice cohort of men.
Yes.
One in particular I think could be a real great fit for you.
Molly said that they were talking and she mentioned Mittens, her husband. He said, my husband. And he was like, what the fuck? Which you might think, oh, sloppy seconds, whatever. But it's more like if he liked Molly enough, he can tolerate, for sure.
I so truly think of us as, like, completely exchangeable objects. Like, it is a 1-to-1.
Just swap her in. Yeah. That is kind of true.
I love last night, actually, like, how, I don't know if we were talking about, like, face shape. Like, I think Ashley and I were talking about, like, just how round our faces were in college. And it's just, like, it has nothing to do with, like, weight or anything. It's just, like, with, like, round.
The face shape.
We are round-faced people.
Big time.
And no, but Ash literally was like, and Siege claims this too. She doesn't have a round face.
Me.
Oh, it was you.
Yeah.
It was
What would you call it then?
You have like a heart-shaped face.
I do not have a heart-shaped face.
Maybe, but
You just said that so confidently. That's maybe. You're just saying anything.
But you're not. But the thing
You don't think
I
actually. I actually kind of don't think you have a round face.
I have an oval face.
Okay, all right. What's the fucking difference?
I think you have more angles. I think it's
What?
stolen
I think
valor.
you have angles. Yes, I think she has. You're very
She's hard.
angular.
She's hard.
You're a heart. She's a heart.
No, I'm not.
I'm the truest oval in the game.
No.
I disagree.
You have a very strong jawline.
I do not.
You do.
Well, that's great.
Well, my jawline
Yeah.
it's part of an oval-shaped head. You'll see.
Sure, but it's the face we're talking about.
If you like
right?
looked it to the audience, so they would agree with you.
It's not head shape,
and-
it's face shape. Everyone has a round head, by the way.
No, you like men with blockheads.
That's true.
You like
I
men
do.
whose skulls have corners.
I love a little square guy. I love
Little
it.
Lego man. And these are the things I take into account in my dating
Look for a
service.
short. I love them short. We
Yeah.
haven't delved. This is like maybe weird of me, but I kind of prefer if I can look in your eyes or I'm kind of looking down on you a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you like them kind
I
of
like 'em
move like a
blocky.
Lego. Yeah.
Yeah.
You like glasses.
I do. That's
Man at bar.
I'll admit it.
Glasses.
Yeah.
Man
Man at bar had glasses.
Yeah.
I'm like I'm so like a baby with like glasses smart. Like
Totally.
I'm just like you fool me. You could be dumb, but I'm like glasses smart.
It does feel like English major
Yeah,
vibes,
totally.
which we love.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I'm even now just ideas are popping into my head. I don't know at what point I'm going to demand that I take over your digital footprint.
We didn't. I would love that. Please,
Okay.
actually take that.
This cross.
Feel my pain. You will be like, whoa.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure.
The women are not exaggerating about the horrors of Hinge.
And I would never allege that a woman
Yes,
is lying.
of course. Sorry.
But no, I think that could be helpful too, even though I think most of our success is going to happen,
IRL.
yeah, on the field.
I would love to be like set up. This
Yeah.
is why I'm excited. Not excited, but this feels like it might have legs because it's like
Yeah.
you've met them. I didn't have to be there.
Yeah, wait, also we should close the loop. The reason I was talking about our face shape.
Oh yeah.
Because we literally, in our heads, we are not only like the same person personality-wise, but identical.
Yeah.
We think we're two Lindsay Lohans in this
Like
Parent
we
Trap.
could play each other in a movie.
We got that. Right. I think the more we mix it up and people are craving flirtation. People are craving, and the city comes alive in the summer.
Yes.
I'm really thinking there are going to be fun little bits and bobs.
I agree. I think IRL dating and flirting is like coming back in a real way.
Completely.
So,
and I'm not without. We've had some good runs at it, like Heim.
Oh,
that
didn't feel romantic. We met these two lovely men at the Heim concert, and I feel like they really left an impression on us.
Yeah, we just spent a lovely evening, like a foursome, really.
Right.
And I thought that there actually was. I think you never showed a strong preference towards one or the other. But if you had maybe even just made designs upon someone, I think it would have been quite...
Well, here's the other thing.
Putty in your hands.
Is, like, I don't actually know how to flirt. Like,
Of course you do.
No, I don't mean, like, oh my god, I'm such a... whatever. I just think I always think I'm flirting, and really I'm, like... actually not even... I'm actively ignoring the person.
No, okay, no. I actually do... I kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You are so charming, but you are broadly charming. Like,
what?
No, I'm serious. You make people feel like what
That's
you
sweet.
do is like 90% there to flirting. It's just you are that way to all. You never take it that 10% to make it feel like
you're my special guy.
And it's romantic.
Okay.
Like,
I think I never know how to turn it into like
I'm doing
I'm like, hey, chill.
romance here.
Yeah.
No, you have people like eating out of your hand.
She is absolutely.
But then it's that final 10% where you like, gently touch an arm.
Oh yeah, I would
or
never do that.
Say something like innuendo.
They haven't signed the waiver. I'm not gonna touch an arm of someone who hasn't signed the waiver.
And I think for some of these haunted houses, the waiver lets you do stuff like cut their
Oh my god. Are you just saying that because you want to cut my hair? Are you trying to cut a bob right now?
I'm not trying to cut a bob. No, but
I won't do anything for my oval face.
Can I Pretty Woman you? So can I put you in an outfit?
Yes, but you have to you gotta consult with Jude. Yes, but I don't want
I have to talk to a real woman with curves.
No.
And get sign off before I do something crazy.
A little.
Only a small titted bitch would do.
There's just a lot of logistics. Jude understands.
You think I don't know about bras? I don't even know what a bra is.
She's talking about bras. You can't wear a bra with almost any tiny top. There's a lot of logistics. There's a lot of logistics.
I went to an all-girls high school.
True. Yes.
I have taped tits.
No, I know. Actually,
to chins.
I do know that. I think just
and it won't
finding the right level of tit.
It won't always be.
I know you don't want me to hide my light.
I don't want you to hide your light under a bushel.
Yeah.
But you've got a lot of great features. Some days will be leg days.
Ugh. Okay. Actually, let's go back to tits.
I'm gonna set up a pool date, so you have to wear a French cut one piece.
Oh my god, wait, I forgot to say about the wedding. So, obviously, any event, I've lost 5 things. And this one happens to be, 2 of my favorite things.
No.
And, 1 necessity. I lost my keys. Mm-hmm. Somehow, literally have no idea how I lost them.
Was that one of your favorite things?
Yeah, I sleep with it under my pillow. I lost my keys. Thankfully, I gave a pair to my Taurus friend with a gun, Julia Privetti. Jupes.
Proud gun owner. Julia Privetti.
And she literally, I have a picture. She was at my doorstep when I got home today with my keys.
That's
she
so
is
sweet.
An angel sent from above. Lost those. Left my Kindle at the hotel. Left my credit card at the bar last night. Simply just left it. I said, enjoy upstate New York. And then,
be free.
Yeah.
Kind
You were always meant for the country.
Yeah, totally.
It's a simpler life
a
up
dog
here.
that like has behavioral issues and gets sent to the farm.
Let's put the freedom and chase freedom unlimited. You know?
Another sponsorship opportunity.
Yes, please. I need
Come
that.
on.
I need that big time. And yeah, so I left my Kindle and I called the hotel and I was like, "Did you find a Kindle in the hotel?" And they said, "Yes, and also 2 swimsuits."
I cannot believe you packed 2 swimsuits
For a 4-day trip.
for a 4-day trip.
3-day?
Yeah.
One of them was the French cut. Her favorite French cut one piece.
No.
Is in upstate New York.
Are you getting it back?
Yes, it's being shipped via USPS priority mail.
Good. So there's a tracking link that I can
Well,
follow.
not yet. Just
Okay.
I'm going to call back when the charge goes through.
Okay.
So yeah, that was a quick interlude.
Thank God she's on her way home.
Yeah, so I'll have it ready for the pool party.
Good. Good. Thank you. Yeah. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about. In addition,
Well, I'm
to...
glad you've been thinking about it. Let's.
There's a bee in my bonnet
Yeah,
now.
good.
I feel actually so anxious at the time I've squandered.
I think I kind of like you're having like when I said you could, it suddenly became uninteresting to you.
No.
No.
The time horizon was so long. I was like, great.
Yeah.
You know me with a deadline, I push it.
Yes, true.
But it feels seasonal too, and if I miss the summer, that's the biggest
You're
opportunity.
right. You
That's,
gotta get me
Yeah.
right for fall. Well, my Kindle's in
know.
upstate New York, so.
Oh, so you haven't been doing much reading.
Well, I I didn't even read while I was up there.
I want to talk about. Okay, I was naughty and I didn't do the Emily Henry reading last time,
Yes.
but I have covered a lot of ground since. I'm 90% of the way into the book, Kindle would tell me. And I do want to just now share some notes.
Please. I feel like I didn't cover. I want to hear what you think because I feel like I left things out about my experience. So
I'll say top line, same takeaway, where
Yeah.
I'm like, she always gets me in the end.
Yeah.
Like, it's propulsive. It was hard to rip myself from the
Yes.
book to do this when I have
Right.
10% left. But I do have, I think right now I'm having less fun reading romance because I'm doing so with like this critical kind of
I
like,
completely see what you're saying.
yeah. And it's not even like, it's self-critical too. I'm just
Yeah.
like really trying to figure out what works for me or doesn't as a reader, because as a writer I'm,
Adrift.
on the moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm probably being like harsher than I would typically, but I'm just scanning through my in Kindle notes. This first one, my note is just LOL, and the sentence is just another Amelia Earhart, a woman lost to time.
Oh yes.
Like, and it's a serious sentence about like how this like famous woman disappeared. Another Amelia.
Yeah.
Most people had simply accepted that we'd never find out what happened to her. Just another Amelia Earhart, a woman lost to time.
That feels like Emily Henry had like. Sorry. That feels like Emily Henry is like obsessed with Amelia Earhart.
Totally.
And she was just like we all are obsessed.
You were
right?
getting dropped in on someone's
Yeah.
hyperfixation, and it is not relatable content.
Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
But it did make me laugh.
Yeah.
There was a dialogue attribution. I'm paying attention to it, and the whole point
know.
is probably that it's
You
just
don't-
ambient.
Yeah, which like, if you're noticing it, that means there is something to say about it, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, that was a creative one. If I really am
Okay.
scraping the barrel, this one is, for what purpose? He wants to know.
Yeah, see, like, when you say it in a vacuum like that, I'm like, oh my god, that's so bad. But, like, I didn't notice that. Or at least I didn't, like, highlight it. You
And
know?
like, it actually does kind of work in the flow. For what purpose? He wants to know. I shrug. I don't know. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it actually feels fine. But, and again, I probably didn't even actively read it.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. It's just because you're, okay. This is so small, but it was to that, like, you have to do all this homework, and then you don't want to bring the homework to the page, but the homework is important because then
Yeah.
you don't say something stupid.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a spoiler if you haven't read it. It's really kind of inconsequential, though, but I thought I'd say it. But the object of the biographies that these two romantic interests are being auditioned to write.
Yeah.
Like, it's these two, we've already covered this, but the woman she's kind of like, it seems like the family is like the Gettys.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's the Ives family. They're like media magnates.
Yeah.
And throughout, it's like, well, did they welcome all? They're like a cursed family. They're like, it smacks of Kennedy at different times too.
For sure.
There's like a plane crash.
I feel like she pulled in inspo from like so many different.
Yeah.
And it's very obvious. There's like Princess Diana with the car crash.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close your ears. Yeah.
A lot of that. But so they're like, it's like a cursed family. They are credited with introducing like headlines that grab attention and like, who cares about the substance? It's like the pre-click clickbait is literally a line from the book, but
and then they became the clickbait.
Yeah. But at one point, this is where I'm like, do your homework. She's framing up how like her great-grandfather who started the company like had this his superpower was finding talent, and he bought up a few newspapers and he would just staff them with the like very best talent. And he found one in particular who was like the headline guy and wasn't even great at the substance writing, but like this writer was the one to kind of open his eyes to like headlines that get attention is really all you need. And then you can build off of that. And, I don't know if this is true across the board, but like in the journalism classes I took, your headline writer is different than your article writer. One person writes the headlines.
Really?
Yeah, you like have a headline guy.
Oh, interesting. I'm not a, well, I guess I can't really speak to this. I was gonna say, I'm not a journalist, but I write, like, blogs for work, and I've always had to write my own headlines. But that's, you would never hire a headline writer for that function, so.
No, but I mean, I think that's how papers, particularly papers, like, old school journalism
works. But isn't she saying that he hired a headline guy?
No. The way she frames it up is like, yeah, his story sucked, but like, you know, he wrote great headlines for them, and that.
Interesting.
And I was like, well, that might. But here I am, even questioning my own. I didn't do the research to make sure that my criticism is accurate, but.
No, I think if that's what they said in your journalism classes, I feel like that's probably right.
Yeah, but we're reaching back. I mean, if I'm honest, it was high school journalism, but.
Well, but still, I think, I was gonna say, like, if anything, in modern journalism, they've probably cut that job, if I had to guess. But
AI does it.
Like, in the, whatever this book takes place, it's like the 40s, 30s, whatever. Like, there's definitely a headline guy. If the budget was there. The budget was there. Yeah.
So, homework. Do your homework.
Yeah. Did you also appreciate that this book had song lyrics?
Yes.
It wasn't too many, though. It was light.
It was tastefully included.
It was tasteful.
Yeah, tasteful.
It didn't feel like it was more about the song lyrics than the book.
Essential, yeah. And it felt like she took one lyric off before leaving the house.
For sure. She gave you like a couplet. Yeah. And I was like,
and it was, I found them...
charming enough.
Exactly. Yeah. Unoffensive.
Yeah.
Unicursal.
What?
Okay, yeah. The word is used constantly.
It is?
Yeah, it's that whole fucking metaphor where the woman, the object of the biography, the subject of the biography, she has that kind of labyrinth that she makes of her floor, and she describes it as unicursal. One way in, one way out. There's only, the path is, and it becomes a metaphor for how she thinks about her life and, like, whether or not you have free will, essentially. Like, am I the result of my choices, or was this always going to happen and I couldn't have changed anything? Unicursal. It's like you learned a new word. Yeah. And you were shoving it down my throat.
It's giving Amelia Earhart.
It's giving Amelia Earhart.
She read like a Wikipedia article about Amelia Earhart that had that word in it.
Which I fear my unicursal is sartorial, which I have said on this podcast too many times and was rightly called out by Callie Gottsacker. Callie Mater.
I didn't notice that, which scares me that you've said it a lot. I think we have the same brain and body. Where I'm like, yeah, that's a normal word people use. Also, I've gotten feedback that we have, like, our vocabularies are a little obnoxious on this. So maybe
whatever,
we just need
dirt nerds.
Yeah, read a book.
I don't know. It is how we talk, though.
Yeah, it is.
I promise we're not like brushing up on the thesaurus before we hop on the mic.
No, this is unfortunately.
We just suck ass.
Yeah, we're just actually really annoying.
Yeah. And here I am, like, unicursal, can you believe? Yeah, so that was another.
Yeah, sartorial's gonna make its way into your book, I'm sure.
I hope not. You know what I am? I made this decision earlier, but I didn't verbalize it. I'm gonna write a John Craig into my book.
There's the childhood friends. They had the craziest names ever, and one of them was named John Craig.
And I just, like, I've never heard a more delightful combination of names. John Craig.
It's kind of actually, like, a hunky name. He was not
obsessed.
a hunk, but it's kind of a hunky name. John Craig.
John Craig doesn't strike me as hunky, actually.
Okay.
It's flamboyant. Oh, John Craig.
Oh, John Craig, please.
John Craig, finish your peas. It's
John
like
Craig
a fussy
don't wear a
little
white
boy.
suit to a wedding.
Yeah, it's a little fussy. I love it, though.
Yeah, and it was for sure. Fussy is the right word.
Yeah. Okay, here, this is just a personal one. Hated that the protagonist had bangs.
It did feel, I don't know if this is where you're going with it, but it did feel a little like Zooey Deschanel. Which I think was kind of, I did have an issue with her. She was a little, I think the main female main character was a little manic pixie.
Yeah.
Just a bit. Yeah.
But I agree. Like, her sunshine initially a lot, but then I was like, no, I get this person. Yeah.
Yeah, the clouds come in.
Yeah. And you also feel like she's making a conscious choice. She's not like, it's not.
Yes.
Like, sometimes I think the main criticism of, like, manic pixie dream girl characters is they're so shallow. Like, it's like you, rather than developing a female character, you are just giving her.
You gave her a record player.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or bangs.
Yeah.
But was not the case with this.
Yeah.
character.
No. Which is, I feel like, when a woman is writing the character, she's gonna have dimension. I think in the beginning you're kind of like, what?
I like what really saved it for me is like how much agency was associated with those behaviors. Like all of it's all like, I choose this because this. Yeah. And she defended that choice multiple times when challenged on it.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, he brushes my wet bangs from my eyes. Like, no.
And now I'm like, when you say that, I'm just thinking about like how she's got to get a blow dryer. Like, those bangs are gonna drive crazy.
And but they're in Georgia. I'm sorry, the whole time she's talking about the humidity. Your bangs are
fucked. Yeah. Unless some people have straight hair. I forget that.
I'm just like, there's no way your bangs have looked at all presentable this whole time.
I'm picturing them just like plastered to her face at all times.
Yeah, and I think she has a bob because one time she puts up a ponytail and she describes it as stubby.
She cut a bob?
She cut a bob and she has a bayang.
Oh.
A bob with a bayang? I don't know.
I'm glad I wasn't picturing that. I'm picturing DW.
I mean, to our previous discussion around they have to be hot, I'm picturing DW is so real. Ooh.
So do you think bangs can't be hot? As I pull back my curtain bangs?
It's not that they can't be hot, it's just as a woman reader, it's so distracting because I know the maintenance associated with bangs. Yeah. So all of this, we've hopped out of the shower and just no, you had to style your bangs for 15 minutes.
You got your Revlon hot brush out. Please.
Oh my God. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Then here's my most substantial critique.
Hit me.
And I feel guilty about this one because I do really I love this book.
Okay.
No, that was wrong. I love Emily Henry.
Yeah.
And I like this book. But, and I get that they're drawing parallels between the romance that's actively building between the two writers, the two biographers, and the subject of the biography and her husband.
Yes.
You're kind of getting that vibe, but one of the hallmarks of both relationships is how quickly and almost magically they fall for each other. And they comment on it.
You didn't like the magic?
If they had done it with wands, I would have liked
it. They just had a dragon. That it's believable. Sorry.
But given that it's grounded in current
Georgia.
Yeah. I was like, well, I get that you keep saying, like, they keep saying to each other, like, this is so weird that we feel this way so strongly, so suddenly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it is weird. And you talking about
you're
it.
acting pretty weird about it.
You're being weird. And I'm like, it's hard for me to, like, join you in that. Like, I'm happy for whatever is happening for you, but it's not happening for me.
Yeah, you're being kind of, you're like, are you guys okay?
And, like, I literally just haven't spent enough pages with you guys, like, building anything that I'm like, yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it's true, you know, like, I
think I feel like when you have a crush, not to bring reality into it, but, like, I feel like when you have a crush, that is something you, like, it's a story you tell yourself of, like, I just felt, like, smacked in the face by you, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's usually not grounded in reality, I feel.
Well,
sometimes it is, but, like, I don't know, if that feels more just like a little crush feeling, which I think is real, but I think you only feel that way because of, like, your internal...
Right.
Like, because you're living it. And I think if you don't do enough, like, it's hard to communicate that with book. Does that make sense?
No, it is.
I don't know if
And as you're saying that, I'm like, yeah, that does make sense. And it's like little moments, like when they run into each other at the coffee shop before they know each other, and he's like on a run, and she's like, wait, is he like fucking hot?
Is he kind of hot? Yeah.
And
that's
then
real.
And then you're like, you have this heightened sensitivity for, like, if they're around, and then you're like, I get that, but then I'm like, to go from that to I love you in, like,
that is crazy.
10 days?
I actually totally agree with that, and, like, I think he especially, well, you've got, close your ears.
Sorry, buddy.
I don't know how far you are. Like, it gets to a point where he's like, I love you, but don't say it back.
Yeah.
And we're a little, like...
And she's like, I want to say it so bad because I love you so much.
I agree. I think that's crazy.
Like, so where I flagged this for their relationship, the the two authors, it's page 265 of 418, and it's literally... It's dialogue... Oh, fuck. Oh, it's dialogue where he goes, no, I mean, he huffs, I mean, we barely know each other, and I feel like, I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, no, you barely know each other.
Yeah, no, you actually could have stopped right there.
Right. But she goes, tell me. All I ever want to be around is you.
Read out loud.
Yeah. And then, because these, like, relationships kind of are being unspooled in parallel, like, obviously, socialites, the old socialite.
Yeah.
It's her love stories being told in the past tense, but with hers, she went to the guy who becomes her husband, sorry, yeah. The guy who becomes her husband is a singer, like, he's meant to be an Elvis competitor in the same era.
Yeah.
And she goes to his concert with her sister. There's like a crushing, it's like Beatles mania type fandom, and there's like a stampede. They both get hurt. He shows up at her mansion the next day with flowers to apologize that they've never met. This is their first meeting. And she goes, it felt like days, weeks ago, the conversation she'd had with her sister 10 minutes prior, because now she's sitting in front of Cosmo Sinclair.
Okay, his name you remember.
Yeah. In a way she couldn't understand and certainly couldn't have expressed, Margaret felt as if the story of her life had been written onto a piece of paper she'd only just now realized had been folded in half. You've said like 5 words. What do you mean?
Yeah.
It was now open, a full second half of a page appearing abruptly. Like, she's literally thinking of her life in before and after, because this guy just, like, seismically shifted what was...
So you don't believe in love at first sight?
I don't think I do.
I don't think I do either, actually. Because the more that we're talking through this, I'm like, this is different than... Because to me, crushes have to take a minute to kind of, like, you can think someone's hot, or, like, be instantly, like, I think you're really cute.
Yeah, totally.
But you can't, I don't think you can have that kind of, like, attachment.
Love. Yeah,
For sure not love, but, like, actual person-to-person attachment.
Right. Where, like, you become my world.
Yeah.
In a moment.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense.
It sounds like you have mental illness.
Yeah, it sounds like you're not okay. It sounds like mania, for sure.
Sounds like mania.
Yeah.
And then I do have one other really small one. Okay. just because the phrase stood out to me when it was first used by Margaret, the old socialite. She describes having goose pimples about something.
Yeah.
I hate that so much.
Wow, I didn't think about that, but yeah, I hate it.
It's so icky to me, and like the alternate I use is goosebumps.
Yeah.
That's my culture.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Or chills.
Yeah, but I made note. I was like, oh, Emily Henry's a goose pimples person.
Yeah.
But then later in the book, the author lady, the younger woman, says goosebumps. And I'm like, so was that a choice you made to like...
You trying to trick us?
Well, or it's like, was goose pimples the like
That's
fashionable term back in the 40s?
It's setting us in time.
Yes. These are the things I'm fucking thinking about now that I'm writing.
No,
too.
I think this is good. This is really good stuff. And I think like maybe this is the kind of if that's true, like that she's doing that to differentiate our two characters, like that's I think an example of getting really lost in the details.
I'm there. I'm lost in the details. Yeah, no. And then if not, okay, then just never say goose pimples again.
Yeah, it's fucking creepy.
Yeah, it's so gross.
It's creepy.
And I think when she used it was like, I have full body goose pimples. Ew.
I'm picturing
See a doctor.
Goose with pimples.
Seek medical intervention. Disgusting.
Yeah, gross.
But yeah, overall, a fun read.
For sure fun.
I am getting a little bit of Evelyn Hugo.
For sure. It's very Evelyn Hugo-esque, which honestly I find comforting because it's like everyone's borrowing motifs and tropes from everyone else.
Yeah.
So, and like those two I'm sure hang out.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably like us, you know? So.
Yep. Probably share a soul, a face, and
The
a
body. Like two best friends do.
Yep. Yeah, so that's what I've got. That's what I've made. Oh, but I also saw a show. Wait.
Oh,
do
yes.
you have other... Do your article now.
Well, no, I want to just actually ping pong off of that I think I may have teed this up the last time, but I'm rereading Beach Read, my favorite romance novel.
Okay. Is it changed for you now that you're like you have this context?
Well, so I haven't actually been writing it down, but I'm trying to do Save the Cat while I read it. And I'm trying to like study why do I like this so much. That's kind of the angle I'm going at it with. And I will say it's like not hitting as much, but I'm also only like 25% into my reread. It's not hitting as hard as it did the first time, but I do still love it. And I'm having like anxiety. You know, I have I'll just say, I have OCD, and one of my little fixations, not Amelia Earhart, is plagiarism. And I've talked about that at length on this podcast. Now I'm just giving you the official diagnosis. That I am afraid that I'm plagiarizing at all times. And because I think I'm going into my book with, I love Beach Read so much, I love the tropes in Beach Read so much, that I'm afraid that I've taken too much inspiration from Beach Read.
Not even close.
Because I was like, it's really similar in, two creative people who are going to this town and, working on a project and hate each other. Are you sure?
Very sure, and it really is, these tropes it means that there's a lot of common cross-section for all of the category.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's really about the building that character. It's really more about we talked about this last week, but it's about how you build the story. Yeah. Which is why we did the extras we did. But
true.
That's all.
And the only other thing I consumed this week that I want to talk about is a show on Broadway.
Ooh.
It's actually not Broadway. It was at the Audible Minetta Lane Theater.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. It's a really small theater, which it makes it very intimate. And it's a two-hander, so it's already a pretty intimate performance.
It's a two-hander.
Hong Kong.
It's where Hugh Jackman just feels up a big titty lady.
He did do some feeling up.
There were waivers. Sorry, I've made that call back too many times.
No, it's two people just on stage the whole time. But I don't even know. I think that's a phrase. Whatever.
Oh no, we're doing Cut a Bomb again. I've never heard that before in my life.
Yeah, but you didn't.
And I do dress rehearsal.
I don't know. I didn't get it from nowhere. We'll look that up in post.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like...
This is a two-hander, sorry.
Sure is. It was Hugh Jackman and literally, it's so stupid. The other actor is a woman. And Ashley and I leave the theater like, what? That ingenue. Like, we are so lucky to see the start of her career. What a... Literally Warren Beatty and Annette Bening's daughter.
Oh, good. Okay.
Fucking idiots. But she was really good.
Okay, so that's another case of it worked when Nepo Baby goes right.
Nepo Baby goes so right. Yeah. She was great. And it's called, I haven't said the name of it yet, it's called Sexual Misconduct of the Middle Classes.
Ooh.
And it was clever writing.
Oh, okay.
It was very clever. Kind of has like, no spoilers, but like a really clever ending.
Ooh, okay.
Tied up in a neat little bow. But the whole premise is like Hugh Jackman is a professor who's grooming a student, like, and she's a freshman and they have this whole affair. And the whole time, I mean, like, I don't know. Okay, so one of my big takeaways, honestly, is like audience members are naughty. Like, more to previous conversations we've had around, like, you actually kind of have to write to, like, a lower common denominator than you think. Because, so I get that this is also, like, the purpose of the staging in this play particularly, but they've got, like, Hugh Jackman narrating, like, he does a lot of third-person narration about himself, and then they'll hop into the scene and they'll, like, have, like, real-time dialogue between the two characters. But he's literally standing there facing the audience going, he stands from his desk and wonders about this, like, about himself, which serves a purpose towards that neat ending. I won't spoil it. Should I spoil it? I don't care.
Well, now I'm kind of want to see
it. You should see it.
Yeah.
So he does a lot of, like, talking to the audience, like, about his experience of this.
Yeah.
And he's like the Rizzler. Like,
by the way, I refuse to learn about.
Oh, same. I know nothing. But is just oozing charisma over onto all the audience. Everyone's getting in splash zone. And we're all eating out of his palm. And I'm like, no, this man is
evil.
I get he's being charming about it, but like he's doing bad shit in those scenes. He then goes and turns around and acts. But no, the audience is laughing. Like, literally.
Not you, though. You were sitting there going, audience!
You could all learn a thing or two from me. How I'm getting an A when I'm watching this. Ashley and I literally, after we left, we were like, we tried not to laugh. Because, like, he literally, you know, like, the first time he kisses this young student, he, you know, turns to the audience and goes, fuck! And everyone's laughing and laughing. Because he's...
complicit.
Everyone is complicit.
I hope there are photographs of everyone in that audience.
You should, like, splash back and get a picture of yourself. And if you're laughing, egg on your face.
Yours is a border that says idiot alert.
Yeah, but it was really effectively done, and it did have that like moment, that gotcha moment. Like if you were meant to like
to feel bad, sit in your poopy diaper,
kind of, and if you weren't like a really sophisticated, elevated viewer,
if you weren't getting an A,
you like it was written to be sympathetic to him up until a turning point.
Yeah,
and then you're kind of like, oh. Oops, I was sympathetic to him.
Yeah. Did you feel at all sympathetic to the man? It's okay, you can admit it. I won't tell.
You're not going to change my grade?
No.
You know what's interesting about the sexual misconduct of the middle classes? It's like, because I was actually confused about the title of it, too. It was middle classes. Like, I don't know if, what is this? But part of where he tries to appeal for sympathy is like, you know, like, it's like... I just don't want to be this stereotype of a writer. Like, his whole kind of self-concept hangs on, like, having being fucking normal, like, making it to this successful kind of, like, stereotype of middle-class, like, function. And instead, he says, like, it's a function of his job because he's a professor, but also a very, like, well-reviewed published author.
Got it.
He's a novelist. And he's like, why can't I just be fucking normal? Like, writers are all like, you know, here I am on my third marriage and I can't make that stick. And now what am I doing with this young girl? And it's so, it was even interesting from that angle. I mean, we're not, you know, published writers. We're hope
writers,
to be. But we're like not.
We've been published in various literary magazines and school newspapers.
Yeah. But to your question, like, did I find him at all empathetic? It was even more so because I was like, hey, I'm a writer who doesn't fuck 19-year-olds.
I think that's a very male to be like, writers are troubled.
Yeah.
And like, this is a big thing in comedy too, where it's like, comics are fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, actually, people are fucked up.
Right.
You're just talking about it, so...
And exercising poor decision-making and self-control.
Yeah, and saying it's because you have chosen this thing that you also seem to think makes you better than other people.
Right. Totally.
Not us.
Oh, yeah. And we get an A for this interaction, too.
And they're self-aware? My God. That sounds really interesting.
It's really good.
So did you think Hugh did a good job, I wonder? Have you been Hugh-pilled?
Ooh. Okay, so controversial.
No, this is a Hugh hate safe space.
Really?
I don't hate him, but I don't really get it. So.
I don't get it either.
Yeah.
Hugh, what I will say about Hugh, the most compelling part of his whole deal, he was wearing a perfect pair of jeans.
That sartorial genius.
Sartorial. And you knew they came from home.
You think so?
They were perfect vintage
fit him
Levi's.
So well.
The wash was unreal good.
Wow. I have to see these jeans.
They are phenomenal. Oh, and you know what's funny? So like they have the girl and they block this all. They like really pin you to a moment in time. They say the year. Like God, Christ's sake. Oh, and he does Australian the whole time. Christ's sake, it's 2014 after all. And
that was very good, Australia.
Thank you. But they have the girl start in skinny jeans, and then when she sees him,
come on,
in the late 20-teens, she's now wearing a boot cut to show the time has passed.
Still... Sorry,
maybe it was
not to poke holes in the jeans, but I think we were still doing skinny in 2019.
Yeah.
I feel like COVID kind of broke the leg open.
Yeah. Sartorial genius.
And also whoever costumed this.
Yeah. And I don't think she was bringing from home.
Okay.
But...
Are you sure? Sorry, now I'm like, are we not giving the costume designer enough credit for perhaps procuring the perfect jeans?
They are the perfect jeans. And we know it wasn't Hugh. It was either his personal stylist
or Sutton Foster.
Someone else cooked there.
Yeah, for sure. Unless he is the gay man that people do believe him to be.
And perhaps with Ryan Reynolds, question mark?
That would really be just desserts, wouldn't it?
It sure would.
We're gonna have to one day talk about the Blake Lively of it all, but
we kind of skirted it when we talked about a simple favor, too simple, too favor.
We may have. We did kind of. We threw some strays.
Yeah. But I will say this of Hugh. He was very casual in his performance, which I think it was a choice he was making to be the Rizzler. Like, he needed everyone to feel like they were getting an intimate night with Hugh Jackman. But it was too casual for my liking because he was delivering some lines like, like kind of scrambled where he's, restarting a sentence or changing his phrasing. And sometimes it was very clear that that's how it was written. Ooh. But his performance was such that I did not trust. Sometimes I thought he was flubbing.
Oh, well, that's very good acting, I think.
Well, I'm saying, like, his performance was so casual that, like, I thought he was making mistakes.
Got it. Oh, I see. Okay.
If it were clear he had, like, built this character this way, it would be one thing. Okay. But it just felt like I was watching fucking Hugh Jackman. Okay. And then sometimes he forgot the line. Maybe. I don't know. And then that was even compounded. He did some, like, crowd work. Like, some guy was having, like, a coughing attack.
God. No.
And Hugh goes, "You okay?" Literally in the middle of a monologue goes, "You okay?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You want me to stop drawing attention to you?" I'm like, and it really did build. And I think, again, he's all just trying to be the Rizzler. But for me, who was already on to him, I was like, just fucking do your show.
Yeah, you're not... let me just say, most stand-ups aren't good at crowd work. We don't need Hugh Jackman to dip his toe. We don't need to start seeing reels of Hugh Jackman doing crowd work, you know?
During a scripted performance.
Yeah.
And it felt a little disrespectful to the script.
Yeah. And also just, like, the audience, if you're going to a show like that, you're not prepared for that, and, like, it's not really fair to the audience either, I kind of think.
Yeah. And they did do some, like, fondling on stage.
The two-hander.
Yeah. And I will say I expected, because I do think he's hot.
Okay. No.
That's crazy, because he's old.
Jupe thinks he's hot. Okay, I just caught a stray. He's not that kind of old. He's not ugly enough.
He's really tall, too.
Oh. Yeah. Boo.
Yeah, not your type.
There's something, like, a little, like, greasy about Hugh Jackman to me.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, so you think he's hot. Is it the Australian thing? I can see that.
No. Maybe it was probably the jeans.
Jeans can do a lot for a man.
Really, though.
Yeah.
So I was kind of expecting the, like, physical, even though it was wrong and I was on to him, I was kind of expecting it to be, like, kind of hot.
Yeah.
No.
Ooh, I kind of think it needs to be hot to be believable Rizzler, kind of.
Yeah. And actually, now that I'm saying it, like, I think it is meant to make you feel uncomfortable.
Icky?
Yeah, and icky. Like, there was a part they were, like, meant to be post-coitus, whatever.
I think you got it right the first time.
Cool.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's what I needed. And she comes out in a sweatshirt and no pants. He does pull it off her at some point, kind of, like, aggressively. And it's clear she's wearing a tank top and underwear, but you don't know that yet.
Yeah.
And it's, like, them kind of cuddling, and he's sitting, like, with his legs apart, and she's sitting between them, and he's got his, like, hands propping them up behind him. And it's so she's sitting in his lap, essentially, on the stage. And he's, like, you know, gives her a kiss on the forehead. And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, this looks like a daughter. It was...
Icky.
That was, like, a good...
yeah.
device.
Okay, that's interesting.
Their physicality worked.
Maybe it's part of you getting an A, is that you were like, I feel icky.
I don't think he should kiss her.
A+. Extra credit for not getting horned up by the sex scenes.
Even though his jeans fit perfectly.
And you think he's hot.
I do. I think he's hot. Yeah. He aged really nicely.
I disagree. Maybe I really like him crusty.
Maybe so. Yeah, that's all I got. So should we, speaking of, okay, so that's what we don't, that's the chemistry we don't want, but we want to build real good chemistry, hence the exercise this week.
Yes. So our exercise this week was to kind of take two characters we love in a romance of any kind and like do an examination of why we think they work so well together, their chemistry, like what makes that work. So I did, do you want me to?
Yeah, okay. Please.
I did one of my, actually probably my favorite movie of all time, if I'm really being honest with myself. You've Got Mail.
A New York classic.
A New York classic, written and directed by Nora Ephron, starring Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. Perfect movie.
Perfect woman.
And I guess I can just give a quick, like, overview. It's a Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
Not remake at all, but, like, that's the inspo pick, is Pride and Prejudice. And it is really, if you haven't seen it, you must.
You must.
I've watched it 1,000 times, and I still get my rocks off each time.
I still get mad at the ending every time.
I don't understand why people get... Okay, we'll get there. I don't really get why people... Because he tricked her?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
How
else was she supposed to get over her prejudice? Is what I have to say to that.
He is a cyberbully.
Let's put a pin in this.
Okay.
So it's these two people in the 90s. It's very in the time and place, which is a Nora Ephron specialty. But it is these two, like, 30-year-olds in New York. One runs a bookstore, a small children's bookstore, the woman, Kathleen Kelly. And Joe Fox Tom Hanks runs
Perfect name.
Yeah. Yes, perfect names, I would say. Runs this, like, Barnes & Noble equivalent. that's putting all the bookstores in New York out of business. And separately, it starts separately with their lives, and they each have a partner they're kind of annoying. The partner is annoying, but we're not really
Those are so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that kind of plays into my analysis.
Mm-hmm.
But they have these separate lives in these Upper West Side apartments. We see, like, each of their days, kind of. And then we learn that these two people are actually emailing each other because they met in a chat room.
Mm-hmm.
And they email each other every day, and they've become kind of, like, really attached through email.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that they're like, am I cheating? But they've never met, and they don't know the identity of the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And then throughout the movie, they meet each other just in real life because of their competing bookstores. And Joe Fox starts to put Kathleen Kelly out of business, and they hate each other. She thinks he's this, like, capitalist asshole.
Arrogant mother.
And he thinks she's enchanting, but he's, like, trying to fight it.
Yeah.
And
he's also like, stop fighting capitalism.
yeah, he's
dumb
like,
girl.
just give up your beautiful bookstore.
Yeah.
What? He's also kind of teaching her via email. He doesn't realize it because they don't know each other, because she's, like, complaining about this guy in her life who's, like, or, like, this challenge she's having at work.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of teaches her how to be mean.
Or to stand up for herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she ends up, like, using it on him, and then they hate each other more and more and more. And then at some point he realizes that she is who she is.
With that perfect scene.
Yes. Oh my God, yes. And then he does end up putting her out of business. But then he's like, wait, I'm in love with her. So he basically does start to cyberbully her.
Mm-hmm.
I will give you that. It's more like he's gaslighting her.
Yeah.
Fooling her.
Yeah.
Which is, I get it. But I think I think we're supposed to believe that she kind of knows a little bit. Because you clearly see she's attracted to him in real life, not on email. And, like, I think with the ending, they do end up getting together. He like, tricks her into, like, meeting in real life. She realizes that it's him, and the last, like, line of the movie is, like, I wanted it to be you.
Yeah.
Which I think is, I don't know. It all kind of...
It's a great line.
It, like, ties a bow on it for me, but I get why people are a little, like, icked out by it, for sure.
It's the cyber gaslighting, and that it's also, like, her having to... The only place she can land, the only conclusion she can come to is, like, I didn't want my bookstore anyway. I think you did. Like, he makes her say, like, he did her a favor.
Well, okay, does he actually?
Well, that's kind of just, like, where...
I don't know. I don't think she... I don't think...
It was stressing me out having that big job running a bookstore.
Oh, no. I actually
Okay.
disagree. I think she's really sad about closing her bookstore. It was her mother's bookstore. I don't mean to fight.
No, you are, and you are the de facto expert on this source text.
I think she's deeply sad about giving up her bookstore, but I tried to rewatch it today on the train. Wi-Fi was bad, so whatever. You're just gonna have to deal with my deep memory of it.
Which you,
yeah. She said, and I kind of am coming at it with the save the cat mindset now, where, like, she does say in the beginning, like, and she's having these conversations with him over email where she's like, am I just on this track because my mom gave me this bookstore, essentially? Like, sometimes I'm worried that I'm not doing enough with my life, or, like, pushing myself, challenging myself. And, like, what she ends up doing when she loses the bookstore, she's like, I'm going to become a children's author. Yeah. And, like, she actually ends up getting, like, because Joe Fox's ex at that point is a literary agent, so she starts working with her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's supposed to be, like, a save the cat model of, like, your needs versus your wants.
That's so fair.
But I get what you're saying. It does feel like it falls a little bit on sexist lines.
No, that really helped me, actually.
Okay.
I think that's
I think
very
your
true.
criticism is valid, just to say.
It was ill-considered.
I don't think so.
Give me a little more on the, like, early relationships that they leave to be together.
So this is actually one of the things I think helps with the chemistry.
Yeah.
Is, like, seeing these two partners who so don't work.
Totally agree.
You know? And, like, there's a part in the beginning where Kathleen goes into the bookstore and she's like, I think this was also a big thing, is, like, they're both big readers and writers, so, like, I think email is, like, perfect conduit for their relationship because we get to
epistolary
see them.
Romance.
It's an epistolary romance, and it's like you get to they love how the other one writes. Like that's like part of why they connect is like they find themselves repeating the things that they said that they wrote on email to each other, and I just love that. I've never really paid attention. I guess I tried to look at this of like what are the things I love so much, and I love that they're like they're so distracted by the emails that they're getting from the other person.
Yeah.
And she's like, Kathleen's at her bookstore like repeating something, and her coworker is like, "Are you in love or something?" Or no, yeah, like, "Are you?" It's something like, "Are you in love?" And she goes, "No," and then she goes, "Oh wait, yes, I am with Frank."
Oh my God,
she gets so defensive about potentially being in love with this like.
That's so good.
Yeah, and I think that they are such good characters and that they are wrong for the people that they're with, and then there's a point where all four of them meet at this party. That's kind of like the big.
Yeah.
It's where everyone finds out who everyone is, and they meet each other's partners, and like the one has such a disdain for the other and feels like superior about it, but then you find out that the other person's partner is also a huge asshole, so it's like everyone looks bad.
Totally.
And that I think just like really, I don't know, it helps put them into a good like perspective of how well they work together. I guess.
You like define the negative and then the positive is so
the negative space, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I think another good thing is that they both are we see that they're both really good with kids.
Yeah.
And they see each other be good with kids. And I know it's like not for everyone, but I think for them it is.
It's really
like,
cute.
She obviously runs this children's bookstore and she does story time, and he sees her like be so good at it.
That's a big part of the chemistry, I think.
And he's like, you can see him being like, I don't know. And then separately he brings his brother who's a little child, and his aunt who's also a little child, into the, which is just Nora Ephron's so good.
So good.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
But like he brings them into the store and he's so good with them, and she's kind of charmed by it. I think that was a good detail. And then I think one other thing is that they both know the other has perfect taste. Which is something you've talked about before in real life. Or not really, but like taste in a partnership.
Yeah.
But we can cut that if you want.
No,
but
I love it.
I feel like they really appreciate the other's like tastes, I guess, and you see that throughout. And then like in the end they have this like really, before they meet in the park and she realizes he's her, he kind of tries to like see if she'll go for it. You know, before he, like, actually does the reveal. He's like, would she go for it if it was just me? Kind of thing. And he was like, I'm imagining a different life where we would just, like, fight about, you know, where to go to dinner and, like, what movie to watch on a Friday, what movie to go to see on a Friday night. And she says, we would never. And she says it really earnestly, like, we would never fight about what movie to go watch. Because, like, I respect your tastes, you respect mine. We would just go see the right movie.
That's such a good.
Yeah, it's just like little stuff like, and it's the same. It goes back to like they love each other's writing styles. They both read. I don't know. Maybe I'm such like a loser, pretentious asshole.
I'm obsessed.
I think like that's. I don't know. I think that works compelling. For me really. Yeah, it's a very like mental romance, which I think.
So good. Yes, very much so. And
then I think the last thing I really had to say is that I think it's nice that he's like kind of mean and grumpy and she's like very charming. But then it kind of switches a little bit where she becomes like harder and meaner and he becomes a little bit like softer with her, but I don't know. And also I really like that he like remembers things about her. Mm-hmm. And I think he starts to use that to be like, when he's
gaslight.
To cyber gaslight. To kind of like show her that he actually cares. One thing he does at the end when he's put her out of business, she's now like wallowing at home, and he comes and brings her daisies, and he's like, because when they first met, she showed him a handkerchief that had a daisy embroidered on it from her mother, and was like, daisies are my favorite flower, and he brings her daisies, and it's just like, it's a lot of in the details.
It's good stuff.
And it has to be carefully thought out details, not feel like kerplunked.
Right. Not like Amelia Earhart.
Yeah.
Another woman lost to time.
Or like, I guess a good comparison is in that book, the green tea. She brings him a green tea. She's a little kerplunked that early on in the book, I think. Whereas like, you know, we've seen the daisy motif a few times in the movie, and then you get it at the end where you're like, Ooh, I feel a little giddy about these daisies.
Yeah, daisies for me.
Yeah.
No, that's a really great selection.
Yeah, I love that movie so much. I kind of want to finish it when I go home.
It's so good.
Even though I've literally seen it 1,000 times.
And we need to go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm like...
No, not at all. Are you
Okay.
kidding me? I think I totally agree. It is like it's a mental romance, and I like that so much. My selection, I'd say a lot of the chemistry is physical.
Yeah, baby! I know what you picked and I'm excited.
Mine is also a screen selection, though there is a book.
Yes.
I just haven't read it.
Yes.
It's To All the Boys I've Loved Before, the couple being Laura Jean Covey
Yes.
and Peter Kavinsky.
One of the greatest movies of all time.
It's a really, there is a reason it like grabs the collective consciousness of all women like 13 to 35.
The women were like not okay in like June of that year.
Like what happened? We were all
It
rewatching
was
it,
collective
like
psychosis. They put drugs in that
We
movie.
made a podcast. We made a playlist.
Oh yeah, Julia and I made a playlist with all the songs because it was. Sorry, I feel like
Great
I'm scooping right now.
No.
The music, it's all. Yeah.
And it made you feel good.
Yeah.
Like, but even there, it's like it was a feeling. You're like, it's all very
Right, like what is going on right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
visceral, loving this,
Yeah,
doing
needing
drugs.
it more.
Yeah, you're not thinking like, oh God, the daisy motif.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, put your hand in her pocket.
Spin her around, Noah Centineo. Do it. Lots of.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize it's Noah Centineo.
I know, he really has like, it's because I really think he becomes Peter Covey. Wait, sorry. He becomes Peter Kavinsky.
But I
in this
believe he
movie.
would take her name.
Yeah, yes, he literally would. He's such a simp.
He is.
Yeah.
But yes, he becomes Peter Kavinsky.
Yeah, it's crazy actually, because then you see the sex tape, etc., and you're like, wow.
The hot tub, and maybe we should just start there.
Can
'cause
I
how
just
are
turn
we
the
gonna-
AC on really quickly?
Yeah, if we're gonna talk about the hot tub, you better.
Woo! Okay, fire that up.
The hot tub scene. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I think what works really well with them is like you get her she's gone through high school being very reserved,
Yeah.
and she's this middle child who just like is very interior.
Yeah.
But she's also silly.
Yeah.
She's kind of like a little weirdo, and she's funny. Like,
I think we all knew those girls in high school.
yes, yes.
Yeah, she really resonates, I think.
Totally. I love her as a
Yeah.
character. And like, she's got this funky room. She just like sits around like hearing
Reading her little
voices
books.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Reading little books. And even the night of the hot tub scene, she's like in the room with her gay friend who doesn't ski.
Yes.
And he's like,
doing masks.
girl, doing math. And he's like, girl, what are you doing here? Like, Peter Kavinsky's in the hot tub waiting for you. And she's like, he's waiting for me? Like, and she's shy
But she
about
still
it.
doesn't believe it. Yeah.
Right. But like, I think that their chemistry, obviously the physical chemistry is great. It's a great
Yeah.
scene. But it's also like so sweet and like so true to like that age where she's like shy about it.
Yeah.
And he's like tentative too because he's like worried
Yeah.
about spooking this girl he genuinely likes.
Yeah, because she keeps like being like, ew.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
spook the horses. But then they like have this steamy little kiss, and then the sex scene or the sex tape of it all.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's sad that someone videotapes that.
A plus. A plus. She watched it critically, everyone.
But it's good. It's good. Also, I think people largely talk about hot tub scene and cafeteria hand in back pocket
Yeah.
spinner around.
Yeah, the classic.
As the two top hits. But I think a song that's underplayed is Track on the Track when she gets on top of him, the first kiss.
Yes.
Because she's just trying desperately to show her sister's very recent ex-boyfriend, who also got a letter,
Yeah.
that she's not actually in love with him.
You
So
didn't describe the plot at all.
Oh, I'm starting to think I didn't need to, so I feel like it's good that you didn't.
no, I mean, anyone
And
who
who
has
hasn't?
questions could take it up with Peter Kavinsky. I don't know.
Netflix.com.
Another sponsorship
Please.
opportunity. Yeah, no, she like takes it, and it's so cute because like it's true to her character too,
Yeah.
where you believe that the only thing that could drive her to be like physically like assertive is sheer
Fear.
panic that someone might know her feelings.
Yes. Wait, that's a really good point. Like because I think that's a hard for a shy girl to like to get her there.
Yeah.
And like I think it's a good character development that she really set her up as this like deeply anxious young woman. Yeah.
But then it's a great little kiss on the very track and field track.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and he is like, I think he is a very believable, like, nice, cool guy.
Yeah.
Where he's like, yeah, he's a cool guy, but actually he's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Kind of cringy, taking little selfies at the party.
Right.
But, like,
he's like a lover boy.
love that guy. Yeah. I don't know what else. Do you got anything to say on this one?
I do want to add that I feel like a lot of my favorite scenes in the movie are not the greatest hits, and I think, but you don't have the greatest hits without them.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the little stuff where they're like making the contract.
They're at the diner.
Yeah.
The contract is a good scene.
Yeah, picking her up for school the first time.
Oh
Like,
my God.
When they go to the party and like they're in the front entryway.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, and the scrunchie. When he takes her
scrunchie.
hair down.
Yeah.
Cute.
And like when she kind of stands up to the ex-girlfriend, and you're like, okay. Yeah, I think it's like a lot of the little, and like the diner scene where he tries to kind of be like, why aren't you afraid of being with me? And she's like, what?
Because it's all pretend.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really like her, and I like her sisters.
Yeah.
And I like her best friend, Chris.
Oh, the best friend is excellent.
And the best friend stood up at real life Laura Jean's wedding.
She was a maid of honor, I think.
Maid of honor.
I think. Actually, do not quote me on that. She's
That's
definitely a
so
bridesmaid.
cute.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I think that's a good relationship too, where it's like the best friend's kind of edgy.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, how did the edgy girl and the shy girl connect?
No, I totally see
but
it.
you get it in this one.
Out of the pool.
Yeah. Yes. I don't think I had any. Oh, I think that's also like both of these movies are written and directed by women, and I think that goes a long way.
Well, how did this stack up with the book? Because you've read the book, haven't you?
I will say, I think the movie is better, but
I mean, it literally induced
psychosis. I think it has like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes too, because like the Hive got out there. When I was going through psychosis, it was literally, I remember when the movie came out when I was living at one apartment, and then within that summer I moved to a new apartment. I was still going through the psychosis because I remember reading the book in a different apartment.
Oh my God.
And I was like, it was like Fourth Wing style, anything, I'll take anything, even the original text.
We must return.
And I think it was like Labor Day weekend. I had a day off for work, read the book.
Okay.
Because it's for children. And
your reading level's quite high.
Yeah, right, yeah. Got a really good score. And, I think the movie is better. I also didn't read the rest of the books, because I know that I think I've watched all the movies, but they fall off big time. They fall off
big time.
Because they got a new director, I think, and screenwriter after. I don't want to quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that, because I really think it was in the execution to screen.
Totally.
For them. No offense to Jenny Han, she gave us the material, but like I think really brought it to life well on screen. Whoever did it.
It was a woman.
Yeah.
There is something.
It's crack.
They put drugs.
They
in
put drugs
the movie.
in that Netflix original.
So good. Yeah, that's what really put me on the Noah Centineo train, and I never got out. All aboard.
That's why you're watching. What is it called? I can't remember saying that.
The recruit. Redneck stupid heads rise up and tell Netflix you're upset that the recruit was canceled.
We got a change.org petition going about the recruit being canceled.
Oh my God, Noah Centineo is dating.
Oh yes, Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
What a downgrade. No offense. Noah Centineo is so cringy outside
on Zoe's part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She's like the perfect woman.
She's God. Yeah.
But also, please show some respect.
for Centineo. I watched his sex tape. I thought you were giving me a look like Claire.
No.
Wait, did I watch it with you guys?
Oh, that's a private. I don't think we did a group viewing.
Did you guys all get together and watch Noah Centineo's sex
We
tape?
actually, because it came out during a psychosis, and then it quickly cured everyone of their psychosis. It was the perfect antidote. The government released it. I go through periods, like, I haven't watched that movie in probably a year because I watched it so much that it started to lose its, like, emotional hit.
Right.
And now I have to space out my viewing. What is the most romantic thing that happened to you this week?
My most romantic is something I have done a full 180 on. I've changed my tune completely.
I love that. I love where this is going.
Most romantic? Military time.
Silence is deafening. I'm not standing with you in this.
All right.
I'm not feeling very patriotic right now.
So listen, I used to think that using military time was attention seeking.
It's performative. Yeah.
It was pick me. Yeah. I have come around to the understanding that people who use it often, I think the most common reason people use military time is because they have loved ones who are far away. And I actually think that's so romantic, that you're trying to make it easier to, like, think of loved ones who are distant.
Yeah.
In their own time, on their own schedule. Like, this really came up for me in an Uber this weekend, where the driver was using military time, and he had no English. He, like, showed me my name and was like, you, as a way to confirm that we had the right matchup. But he was using military time, and I was like, you know, he probably, like, the people he loves most are probably quite far away.
Yeah.
And this is, like, how he pays attention to, like, where they're at in their day.
Yeah.
And that made me so overwhelmingly sad, but it's, like, beautiful sad.
I really don't want to poke holes in this. But you still have to do math.
I know,
Is it
just makes
that much easier?
It just makes it easier, yeah.
Okay.
It's like, oh, it's your four is my...
That's true.
Well, and there's a reason that the military has implemented it as an easier way to keep track of operations across time zones.
All right, okay. I take that point.
Are you going to challenge the might of the U.S. military?
Yes, I do quite often, actually.
Yeah, no, totally, same.
I think maybe if they had less money, they'd spend less time fucking around with clocks, probably.
Yeah, fair.
No, I'm just kidding.
But I just think it makes it easier to be like, oh, it's, you know, well, what's the most romantic thing that happened to you? Oh, and I bet you have like 3 things, and they're all better than mine.
No.
What are they?
Well, so I think, obviously, my brother's wedding was probably the most romantic thing that happened to me. This feels like a weird thing to say. Romantic thing happened to me this week. But I think just, like, seeing him start to build this, I mean, they've been building this life for however many years already, but, like, taking that next step and, like, hearing him talk about that, like, I don't know, it's just not something Irish Catholic people do.
Totally.
So, like, seeing him wear his heart on his sleeve like that is really cute. And, like, very romantic, and see how much he, like, values Megan in his life, and obviously, and how they're, you know, taking this next great big leap. I think separately the most romantic thing that happened to me this week happened right before I came over here. I'm wearing my Everyone Reads Romance I was with Joops, that's why I'm looking at her. Everyone Reads Romance Novels t-shirt that we purchased in our online shopping haze. Mm-hmm. And we went to Ralph's for a little, and this is another Upper East Side locale drop, Ralph's for a little ice cream earlier, and I was checking out, and the young man who was doing that...
Was he darling?
He was probably like 17.
Cool.
I actually don't know. He was young.
Okay, Hugh Jackman.
I was wearing a great pair of jeans. And he was like, I do read romance novels, as he took my card to pay. And I was like, oh my god, what's your favorite? And we had a nice little conversation about it. And he is reading Normal People by Sally Rooney right now. And I was like, buckle up, baby.
Good luck.
And we talked, I gave him, I was like, if you love I was like, I love that. It's one of my favorite books. And, like, I was like, if you like that, you should read Conversations with Friends. It'll blow your mind. And it was just, like, a nice little,
That's so
men
sweet.
read romance novels. Who knew?
Young men, too. I love that.
If any man is doing it, it's a young one, for sure. I feel.
No, they're all MAGA.
Oh, true. You're right.
We'll cut that, but
no,
yeah.
I mean, but you're right.
What a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Everyone in line was like.
Yeah, everyone was like, yeah, and that line is brutal. Some people were.
But he was just gabbing.
It was cute.
That's adorable. Yeah. I hope he has a great summer break.
Me too. I hope school's not too hard on him. You know?
No, and he gets time to read a lot.
Yeah.
What a sweetheart. I love that.
Yeah, it was nice. So was yours, by the way.
Since you called out your t-shirt, I want to call out mine.
Oh, yeah.
This is
I love that.
Our only true sponsor, and the sponsorship was this t-shirt and some dog treats, but this is Charlie Bear. It is a Got Pet product. Thank you very much to the Got Pet team. Thank you, Got Sackers.
Yes, we love you guys. That was me trying to do, like,
love
speak, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's it, folks. See you
Bye.
next time.